Auerstadt. This is going to be the battle we're going to be playing here, and hopefully we actually manage to break through. The tutorial is excellent in this game, definitely helpful.
Battle of Jena, Auerstadt, 14th of October, 1806. I did not expect us to win at Austerlitz, yet we destroyed the Austrians and gave the Russians a bloody nose. For the first time, I saw the true power of Napoleon's army. While the Austrians were in chaos, we moved as one. I hear that we have proven ourselves as an army to be feared. Rumors are that Napoleon is a small man. Not so. He is of good stature. I shook hands with him after the battle. Despite my dislike of him, I admit he is impressive. Nonetheless, with the forces of Europe against us, I know I must find an opportunity to escape. Today we fight the Prussians. Marshal Davout has met part of their forces already. We move to attack the rest. On to battle.
First of all, I want to really say I really like the voice actor they chose for this particular bit. It's just really cool, and obviously it's sort of like what seems to be a soldier in the Napoleonic army. Let's go ahead and advance. Now, if you want to just take a look at the objectives of the mission, it's clear we have to defend Jena and capture Buttelstedt and Auerstadt. Now, I'm a little confused about this because I do believe you can win with victory points without capturing these areas. But once you capture the areas, the mission is automatically won. So let's go ahead, guys, and do our best. Alright, so when you actually start the game, you get something called a promotion phase. What you can do with these promotions is, of course, boost some of the existing traits of your troops, and we want to take a look at this area. So Auerstadt is definitely a place we want to get to. You also have to keep in mind that in this game, terrain is extremely important. So for instance, we've got hills back here, we've got swamps. You don't want to be in a swamp, believe me, but you can actually give your men some bonuses to do well in a swamp. In this case, I'm going to promote this unit. I want to go ahead and give them probably either reaction fire or +2 defense while in a swamp. That would be pretty useless because we're not near a swamp at the moment. I'm going to give them +2 reaction fire. So basically, if the enemy opens up against me with a volley, we're going to be able to return a volley and do quite well with it. Let's go ahead and give him +1 view range. This will allow him to fire at distance. I'm going to give this guy a boost as well, +1 view range. And for our cannon, yeah, let's do this. +1 damage when attacking cavalry. There's going to be a lot of enemy cavalry in this battle. I'm going to do 1 damage versus cavalry, and I'm going to see if I can give maybe 1 boost to the guys up here. Let's give him some range damage. Range damage is very, very useful. Thank you, Piddles and Squishy. I'm glad you guys are liking the look of the game. And yes, very niche indeed. This reminds me, I was saying before, it reminds me a lot of Sid Meier's Gettysburg, but in a Napoleonic setting. As you can see here, our guys are going to automatically get into square formation. Now, the benefit of square formation is it's pretty good against cavalry. The negative effect is that enemy infantry units can do a lot more damage to us because we're nice and tightly packed. So I'm going to go ahead, and first thing I'm going to do is move this fellow forward. This is actually part of the tutorial, so it's basically going to go ahead and show us how to engage an enemy, get them in a square, and then fire on them. So here we go. And here we go. So we're going to take this unit, the cannon, and we are going to open fire. Now, if you look at the upper left corner, it doesn't always appear in the upper left corner, but we can see the amount of men. We can also see all the minuses and malices. So in this case, attack +2. There's no reason why we shouldn't attack. 4 and 6 on our side, which means that we probably will be doing 4 or 6 damage to this guy. Let's open fire. Now he's in a tightly packed square. This is a perfect opportunity to blow him away with some cannons. There we go. Another thing I really like about this game are the bodies left on the field post-battle. Obviously, if you get a good shot, you manage to actually lower or drop a few bodies here that are representative of units lost from this squad. And if we just mouse over it, we can see the yellow. 2 guys are wounded, 3 guys are dead. It's not looking good for the enemy. Nice shot, boys. All right, excellent shooting there. I'm probably going to do the same to this enemy, but then again, we've got the cavalry directly in front of us. It's a bit of a threat, but I think the enemy infantry is a little more threatening. Although, as you can see here, the enemy's behind cover, so he's going to get +2 defense. That's not good. So we are going to fire at the cavalry. Looks like one of them is down, and I'm going to fire at this cavalry as well. Now, if we have some men behind our men, like another infantry line back here, we aren't able to fire, and that's because basically the line of sight will be blocked by the other infantry unit. However, if we can get up on a hill, we can definitely fire because we'll be above the infantry unit right here. So that's my goal. We also have the great Napoleon himself right here, and you can actually move him into certain units to sort of give him a little morale boost. Obviously, having the Emperor behind you is going to help you move forward. Let me move this infantry forward as well, and yeah, we're going to have to move them over here. As for these guys, I'm really just trying to get a good location to open fire, and here we go. It's actually not looking great for us, but I'm going to take the shot. The enemy is behind cover. Got very lucky that we only that we hit at least one, but of course they hit one of ours, so sort of a tit for tat there. Yes, lots of niche games are from Slytherin, but if they fit one's playstyle, they're just perfect games, says Awesome Lionosaurus. Recently started on Sanctus Reach and have fallen pretty much in love with it. I always check Slytherin yearly for releases, as a lot of these niches fit me. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, I'm not sure, I hope that Danny from Slytherin is watching the stream, because I do want to know if this game is going to be available on iOS systems. It looks perfect for a game that would be available on like phones or tablets, things like this. I would love to be able to get on the train or the bus and play this game. I would be thoroughly entertained instead of sitting there with absolutely nothing to do. So that's one thing I wonder, because I think that would be great. Unfortunately, Byron Musso has moved on. So he's not going to be with us anymore for the streams. It's a sad loss. Musso's awesome, but I think he's gone to a location he wants to be at, that's all we know right now, unfortunately. Let's open up here. We're getting very close to Odestadt as well. So remember what I told you guys about hills. I want this artillery on top of the hill. We can't fire this turn because we've already moved, but we're going to keep moving all of the units that can move. You can also see that crossing a river costs us an entire movement point, where typically this cavalry unit would be able to go 2 or 3 tiles. In this case, he can only go 1. Crossing that river without a bridge is not easy, let's put it that way. Okay, I think we can end the turn. Let's turn it over to the Prussians. And so if you're talking with Slytherin Group guys, that's Dan from Slytherin Group, I believe. He's going to kind of be replacing Musso temporarily while they try and find a new admin, essentially for the chat channel here, I guess. All right, major assaults by the enemy cavalry. Wow. So they're attacking our square formation. They probably are pretty confident. But it actually seems to have worked out slightly better for us. I'm glad we started shooting at that unit up there on the hill, because they're going to be giving us a lot of unnecessary fire. Again, another charge, and this time it looks like they're charging into rough terrain, which is not necessarily a good idea. We even gained 1 morale here. I don't think we gained it because of that unit charging, but clearly our men are ready for a fight. Another thing you should note is cavalry units cannot attack units adjacent to them. What does that mean? That means if a unit is on the right or the left side of the cavalry, directly to the right or the left, he will not be able to attack. Here we go. We're definitely going to open fire. Look at that 2-4. We're also going to get support of +1 defense. We should absolutely fire. Right into their flanks. And we might even be able to take Camberg. We could go for the charge. I'm going to go for the charge, my friends. Charge! Wait. Before I do that, let's soften them up. So this area is heavily defended, and a fire has broken out. This is going to damage the unit over time. I am going to charge him, but that should definitely knock him out of commission pretty soon. Funny enough, this would actually be a good time for them to retreat, because then our unit would be the one burning. But let's let him do his thing. Now, I do kind of want to fire at this unit, but I think he's been so badly damaged that it's actually better to lower the amount of troops in this particular regiment so they don't do a lot of damage to us over time. So let's open fire. Nice. There will be returning fire, likely. Maybe not. That's surprising. And we'll move this cavalry over here. Kind of a weird position for a cav, but I think it'll work. Keeps them from reinforcing. That's what it does. Thank you, Imbu. That's awesome. So they are not going to be able to get any reinforcements. I like that. I'm going to fire at them again, but I think I want to get a bit closer. So I'm moving this unit over here. Actually, we could do a charge. That's not a bad idea. Let's go for the charge. Bayonets. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm going to go ahead and get this unit on top of the hill. And let's open fire at the cavalry. Now, the way cavalry deals with one another really depends on the kind of cavalry unit it is. So, for instance, if you're using lancers to attack hussars, that's usually a pretty good trick, because the lancers are obviously made to take out other cavalry units, whereas the hussars are really made for the infantry units. So you got to remember these things to really, I guess, make the most use of your existing units. Open fire here at their cav. And that is the Hohenlohe cavalry. And we'll also open fire with the cannon here. And I'm definitely going to go ahead and fire at their cavalry unit and try to just basically weaken them. We could also hit that infantry unit. It's quite a problem, and it is going to keep reinforcing. So you know what? Oh yeah, good shooting. Now, in this charge, it's going to be pretty even, but I'm going for it. So we've got some chasseurs attacking. Chasseurs, of course, armed with usually some sort of pistol and a saber. And we are, of course, facing the enemy Hohenlohe cavalry. I'm not even sure what kind of cavalry this is. It could be a lancer unit. Oh, that's great. If the position's on fire, they can't use reaction fire. Man, I love that. It also just looks really good in the game, just sort of seeing the devastation caused by the current situation. So over here, the crossing river attack, the uphill attack would be -2, -2. That being said, it's giving us 0, 0, 0, 0, which means that, you know, we could roll the dice on this one and maybe knock out one of their guys, but I don't think it's worth it. Just because going uphill with a cavalry charge is not nearly as effective as going downhill with a cavalry charge. Let's end the turn. Prussia. Okay, they're charging. Oh man, that was a nasty attack. -3. Yeah, so as Dan mentioned down below, this is a PBM system. Really great system, especially if you don't necessarily want to finish a game all at once. You know, I know for me, I don't have the time to finish an entire game with a friend. And this allows you to basically respond to the turn whenever you want, within reasonable time limits, of course. You know, you don't want to respond like a month later, but you know, it definitely helps. So there we go. We actually had some units retreat there, and they retreated off the hill. You can see all the bodies there on the hill. Some of them have disappeared post-battle. I want to go ahead and fire here. I was hoping firing into the flank of the enemy unit would create a lot more damage. Okay. No, I think we should keep our fire here. We can turn our attention to the enemy over here to the west once we defeat the guys here in the east. I think it's important to kind of spread that damage out. But in this case, They've got a lot of threats from the east that we want to deal with. Alright. Let's bring Napoleon here. Uh-oh, reactionary fire there as we got up the hill. I was hoping to charge down on the enemy. Not sure if that's going to work out too well now. We're still going to try. We're both on the hill, so yeah, we both took a little malice there. So Camberg is open for business. First thing I want to do, now that we spotted the enemy artillery over here, the enemy artillery is a major threat. We immediately want to start firing at it. The fact that they didn't shoot at our arty first is a bad decision, because we were going to focus every single guy we can on taking out that unit. So let's see if we can get any more guys to fire on him. Not quite. I think we can shoot these guys out of Camberg. There we go. Thank you. Merci. And we will advance into the town. We have captured the town of Camberg. I'm also going to bring this cavalry unit over here. And I'm hoping next turn he might be able to actually fire a bit. Hello. Looks like we got a new person on the stream. Thank you for joining us. Welcome aboard, sir. Hello, DK Leech. Looks like we've got some new faces here today. Very cool. Alright, so once again, I think, yeah, firing on the artillery is much more important than anything else. And there we go, -2. What about a charge here? It doesn't look like it's going to work out too well. Although it doesn't look like it's going to work out too poorly either. I'm going to roll the dice on this one. And neither of us suffered absolutely any damage. I can live with that. Okay, let's see. They've got way too much cavalry for their own good, so I'm definitely going to start working on minimizing, lowering, as it were, the amount of cavalry here. Oh, nice, -2. We'll even go for the charge, although this unit is pretty badly damaged as well. And I think, yeah, it's definitely a Lancer unit. -1, -1, and they're retreating. Beautiful. Okay, let's end the turn. I want to make sure we don't have any more shots. And you can see we have one here, so we're going to go ahead and fire on this unit, actually. They do have that +2 reaction fire, which makes them a pretty deadly unit to face off against. So anytime you shoot at them, their return shot is going to be pretty brutal. Okay, I think that's it. We'll go ahead and end the turn. Pour la France! It's good fun, light Panzer General type World War II game, but it has supply in Asia Pacific territory, which sold me. Ah, what game is that, Piddles? Very cool. Okay, so as you can see, our guys are now retreating. We got rid of one of theirs, they got rid of one of ours. Happens every day. We need to move on. And luckily, there are no important strategic towns in this area. Ooh, a charge! Order of Battle. Yeah, Order of Battle's great. It's really great fun. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that the first iteration of the game, World War II, is free. So you can pick that up. And then if you want to get some DLC into specific conflicts that interest you, there are a ton of really great DLC for the game. So for instance, if your interest is maybe, Southeast Asia, you could get Burma Road. If your interest is the Chinese, you could get Rising Sun. There's a lot of different things in the game. Let's go ahead. These guys are in square formation. Don't forget that when the enemy is in square formation, you do a much better chance firing at them. What I'm going to try to do is actually target them with my cannons. I know the enemy cannons are a threat, but the biggest threat right now is that huge chunk of enemy infantry. Fire! And while they're in this formation, it really gives us an opportunity to let them have it. Okay, we definitely want to focus on this guy first. I hope they don't take our position in the city here. at Camberg, but then again, you know, it's not the best location to be in right now anyway. Okay, let's see. Interesting. Alright, nice. Look at this, guys. A downhill attack, and the Grossmann Saxon defender is in a swamp. This is a great opportunity to do some major damage. And there you go. We hit them for a lot. They're retreating, which is wonderful. And we are going to give chase. We'll also go ahead and move forward with this guy. Although there is still an obstacle in the way, unfortunately. So for us to move out of Jena and really become a threat, it's going to take a little while, I think. Alright, open fire. I need to shoot at this guys because they're right in front of me. So, and we're also going to get a +2 attack because we're firing at point-blank range. So just imagine firing these cannons, probably filled with canister shot at point-blank range at the enemy. Beautiful. Fire! Unfortunately, that unit is retreating. There's not much we can do with him, but we will start moving forces into Jena, and some of these forces will cross the river so that they can get engaged in the combat very soon. Round of reactionary fire. Wow, we got very lucky that that didn't affect us. And I don't want to move this unit forward. He's just going to get pulverized. So even if they take back Camberg, we can get it back later. I'm not too concerned. Let's charge just to keep them in the square formation. All right, nobody really did any damage. Fair enough. Okay, end the turn to the Prussians. Winter War. Yeah, Winter War is a great DLC, and for those of you wondering what Byron is talking about, Winter War is all about the Finnish War, the Finnish Winter War against the Soviets. Really, really fun stuff. No, you're absolutely right, Byron. Never charge a square with Cav. In this case, there is a mechanic in game where if you can get the enemy to form a square, because they automatically form a square when you attack most times, they'll be much easier to shoot with your regular line infantry. So, in other words, it gives you an attack bonus. I think the enemy automatically, as you can see there, you see, it automatically gets in with a square once you charge. At least that's what I've seen. Let's open fire here. Point blank range. Although, unfortunately, we're out of supply. See, the enemy's cut off our supply, and that takes away a lot of damage. So we need to take back this area so we're no longer out of supply. But it's good to know that, very similar to Battle of the Bulge or those games or Drive on Moscow, you can cut the enemy off, and it makes the battle a lot more difficult for them, a lot more challenging. Get out of here. There we go. Enemy destroyed. That's what I want to see. Fire and fire. Good thing is cavalry can't shoot back. Okay, we could hit the guys over here. You know what? I'm going to move over, and I am... Ooh! We should have stayed put. We're in rough ground as well. Not a good place to be. I think we have to attack this guy now. And let's see what our cavalry can do here. They might be able to attack, although they can't attack adjacent units, which is unfortunate. We can, however, attack this retreating unit and just do even more damage to it, which I think is a good idea. As you can see, we destroyed the unit, and we're going to try to cut the enemy off from their supply lines, making it very hard for them to get ammunition. Okay, let's see. So I should attack with the cavalry first. I don't believe this is a square formation. They're just marching. So I'm going to charge, try to get them into a square formation. but they didn't take to it. So let's go ahead, open fire with the artillery. Artillery! There we go. Very nice. And the enemy is retreating. Of course, we want to move towards Auerstadt. This is an extremely important location to take, so let's do just that. Downhill charge, but the enemy's going to do pretty well because they're in a town, number one, and we are crossing a river in this charge. I think we're going to be safer with just shooting at the enemy. Hang in there, lads. And we will charge the enemy artillery. Okay, here we go, and let's move these guys up as well. Let's actually open fire on this unit. What to do, what to do. These guys have all used their rounds already. The charge wouldn't necessarily be awful. We do have support. We are doing a downhill attack. We don't have a lot of men in this regiment, unfortunately. Most of them have been killed or wounded. But that was actually a pretty decent attack, I have to say. Oh, the poor units are retreating. Okay, let's end the turn. Back to Prussia. And they're getting reinforcements there. That's terrible. Good shooting, boys. A lot of heavy fighting going on right now. And of course, we know that right there in the tile next to the artillery, it's not surprising that our men would take a pretty nasty hit. And in that case, that was 3. That's a lot. But I think we might be able to overrun the cavalry here. We'd actually be better, the artillery. We'd actually be better off firing at the enemy. So that's what I'm going to do. A few lucky musket balls, just destroy them. That's exactly what we wanted to see. Now, they're still retreating. I'm tempted to keep firing at them to force them to move back more so we can move here and eventually bring our cavalry forward. But I don't believe the cavalry is able to attack towns anyway. So, I'm not sure. We'll fire for now. The thing I don't like is since they're in a town, it's very easy for them to reinforce. Unless, of course, we somehow cut them off. Okay, we're going to go for the charge here. Hopefully we can make these guys at Dornberg retreat pretty soon here. The problem is the units that we have attacking Dornberg are pretty badly damaged themselves. Let's lead a charge. Our men seem to be a little tougher than these guys. Yeah, look at that. And the Putthammer infantry. Again, we can attack a town. That's the unfortunate part here. I will, however, move this cavalry over here so we can actually be useful and possibly attack this unit. And we can also get a nice shot with our cannon. Why not? Because at this distance, we're not doing max damage, but 2 ain't bad. 2 is not bad at all. Definitely going to charge here. And again, you really want to inspect that screen pre-battle to see which is best. In the last charge we did, it was just better for us to charge. We were going to do more damage to the enemy. In this case, it's still better for us to charge because it's unlikely we'll take any damage in this attack. So we're going to try. And even if these guys are getting reinforcements, I think that they can only get 1 reinforcement or 2 per turn. We just need to really lower that level. Okay, first, let's go ahead and get that point-blank shot. Look at that. That is beautiful. And unfortunately, we can't shoot with this guy, but we could move this guy to Jena. But he's still got these men in front of him. For now, let's just fire. And hopefully we knock this cavalry unit out of the mix. I warned you guys in the beginning of the battle that in the Battle of Jena, the Prussians had a lot of cavalry, and that's definitely reflected quite well here. Yeah, Scourge of War is a really fun game, and that's another one for people that like the Napoleonic genre. Of course, Dogs of War here, he has actually a forum that focuses on, I think, on the game exclusively. And it's a very complex game. There's all sorts of ways to play it with friends. The general mode he was telling me about is really interesting, and it's just a fascinating game. I do love me some Scourge of War. Okay, unit is retreating. Not good. More retreating. At least we have Jena. That's a start. All right, they're moving out of Auderstadt, and remember, we need to take that city. So we need Buttelstedt. Where's Buttelstedt? All the way back here. That's going to take us a while to get to. We definitely don't want the enemy getting behind our lines like this. However, I'll go ahead and take Dornberg, and we'll be the ones behind their lines. Before I do anything, I want to fire at them with artillery here. We want to show them that they absolutely aren't going to get anywhere getting this close to our men. The only thing they will get is death. Oh, this is going to be a devastating shot, and I'm not really sure why. I'm guessing it's the support plus 2 defense. Let's shoot. Amazing shooting, boys. Now they get into square formation automatically. That's just part of the game. Obviously, you don't want to charge the square after forming a square, but we do want to try and get some of our units to start firing at them while they're in this this very uncertain formation. Let's say if you're facing an infantry line and you got a square, things are not going well for you. Oh, I think they definitely felt that. Move this guy forward. We'll open fire on the cavalry. They're already pretty weak, and that destroyed them. Excellent shooting. We can also go ahead and cut this unit off, which is exactly what I'm doing by crossing the river. And we can start firing or even charging this area. I think actually we'd do better with a charge. So let's go for it. Get those bayonets at the ready. You can see a lot of men already down there. Another charge, although firing on the unit would work just as well, so we'll do that. What I really want are some... Nope. Hoping this cavalry did a number of, or took a number of tiles so that these guys are cut off, and I think that's the situation currently. Okay, to the Prussians. You can also see here the victory points. I think we have 324, and Prussia has 226. So the victory points needed to win is 102. 102 more for us to win. The cool thing here is being able to see basically the amount of damage you've inflicted on the enemy and vice versa, and tallying up those points, because in this game you actually do get points just for doing damage to enemy units, which I really like. Let's go ahead and end the turn. Wish we could fire again with the arty. Give us a cheat code, Danny. Give us a cheat code. Come on. Let's end the turn. Alright, that cavalry never stops, man. Especially there in the southwest of the battlefield. What is MTG? Is it Magic the Gathering you guys are talking about? Such a nerd. That came to me immediately. I was just like, Magic the Gathering, MTG. March to Glory. I was wondering why you were abbreviated MTG. Alright, here we go. And another charge, this time on a town, not good. I was hoping we would cut them off, and I guess we kind of have. They're not firing, they're charging, so that doesn't require ammunition. Yeah, my nerd brain went crazy when you guys typed that. I was like, oh my goodness, bring out the magic cards. I actually haven't played Magic the Gathering in decades. I'd love to see what it looks like now. I'd probably be very disappointed, to be honest. If it's gone the direction of most things these days. Okay. Camberg is ours. It's that simple. Don't like the enemy even making their presence known here. Charge. There we go. Destroyed. That's exactly what we wanted. We can move into Camberg, and we can also move this guy forward and begin firing on the unit here at Dornberg. Of course, they've got some pretty nice reactionary fire. That's going to definitely be difficult to break through, but it looks like we've got some pretty good fire, period. As you can see, we got 2 of them, but again, they get the ability to return fire again, which is frustrating. We've got 3 units right now basically retreating. I guess they couldn't handle the fire at Camberg. Charge. Napoleon is with you. And he really is. He's in this stack. And we destroyed it and took Dornberg. As you can see, though, no, actually, we got destroyed and damaged Dornberg, and Napoleon went running across the hills to safety. Smart move by the Emperor. Okay, let's fire. C'est très joli. Here we go. We're going to fire again. I think we could destroy this unit. Alright, we made it retreat. That's the next best thing. And at this point, could take Frankendorf. Maybe not. We could, however, fire or charge. I think charging would work out a lot better for us since our guys are out of ammo. We're very close to being out of ammo. Let's go ahead and charge here. Destroyed. That's what I'm talking about. Now I'm going to keep that unit there. I will, however, move our unit at Jena forward. And we'll get Napoleon. I'm not sure if Napoleon can stop retreating units, but we'll see. Maybe that's a possibility. Start rallying them to the cause. Okay, we definitely want to fire at the enemy. They seem to be in that square formation. Now they're out of the square formation, so we could absolutely lead a charge. But with which cavalry unit? This one has the most promising chance of actually doing damage. And these are the 2nd Dragoons. They're a vicious little unit, but they can't seem to do much damage to those guys up there. It could be because they're on a hill. Makes it a lot harder, of course, to follow through. Even here. I will charge. And once again, very inconclusive fight. No real damage done on either side. At this point, we turn it over to the Prussians. Oh, mon Dieu. Mon Dieu. Oh, they're going for a charge against this unit. That's a bit reckless. Although we are in rough terrain, so they actually managed to do some damage to us, as you can see. Hold your ground, boys. Alright, 2 for 1, I don't like that. So basically we just lost 2 guys, they lost 1. I'd rather have not lost any, obviously. Okay, let's go ahead. Continue firing. I believe this man is almost going to retreat. But the biggest threat is, of course, the Cav. And while they're not right in front of us, we're still getting a slight bonus. They seem to be pretty close. I also believe if you're on top of the hill, you're going to get even more of a bonus. Open fire here. Almost executing this cavalry unit. I kind of feel bad for them, and there we go. Destroyed. Destroyed! That's what we wanted to see. Now let's take a look at these 2 units. This one has 1 more soldier, and just because of that, I'll probably use him to move forward. The town is captured, and I think we do most damage against this enemy 3rd Brigade. So let's shoot. They're on top of a hill, which puts them in a definite position to fire at us next turn. And I'm just going to keep this guy here. I'm hoping that he will reinforce himself. Also, look at that. I don't know if it's because Napoleon was here, but these guys did reinforce. They returned to the fight. So let's just add Napoleon to their stack, and maybe he can bring some more men in. Okay, we go for the charge. Come on, Dragoons. Make me proud. Orstadt is so close to being within our reach. Fortunately, no damage there. I am going to do a second charge. They're on a hill. They have decent defense. It's very hard to do any damage. I think we might have to use the cannon to really hurt that unit. But right now, I really want to hurt this unit. And I think the most important thing is to try and get rid of as many of the enemy as possible. So we might possibly fire here. Let's do it. Nice. The Lostin Grenadier got a beautiful shot making the enemy unit retreat. Now we could move into Camberg. I'm just worried that our guys are going to retreat because of the fire right away, but I don't think we have much of a choice. So let's do it. We can't shoot yet this turn, but next turn we should be able to fire. I'm going to go ahead and fire at this unit because our cavalry was nearly about to break this unit. And perhaps they still can. Oh, they're shooting at our artillery, which is very smart. Like I said, the arty does a tremendous amount of damage, so wasting enemy arty in this game is of utmost importance. On fire! Alright, they did rally, but obviously they ran away. And it's turn 10 of 20. So that means that we still have 10 turns to complete our objectives. We don't know if we're going to get reinforcements. We have no idea. In this case, I will open fire. Beautiful shot there, and the enemy, of course, is retreating. But they seem to, how can I put this? They seem to rally quite quickly. I don't like that. So I want to go ahead and get rid of this guy so that our cavalry can meet up with our infantry. And there we go, destroyed. So I'm going to go ahead and move my cav here. Now again, not only does the enemy have reaction fire, but we cannot charge a unit that is in a town. We can charge this guy, but we're going to lose some men as well. I guess it was even on both sides. Charge. These guys just do not want to move. Give them a taste of the old cannon shot. Boom. Beautiful. Yeah, that's going to be the way we're going to get rid of these guys on the hill. We're going to have to just basically use that cannon to shoot them consistently and eventually just make them retreat. Interesting. There we go. Enemy retreating. Of course we're going to advance. And we might even be able to take Weimar next turn, which would of course be huge. Let's open fire here. I don't think we're going to do much damage. They do have a lot of men in this unit. But even taking out 2, it's huge. Alright, I'm moving this guy back to Jena. This guy will move forward. What about this fellow? So he had 718 before. Yeah, he still has 718. I guess we'll move the unit forward. If we spot that retreating enemy unit, we can fire on him. And believe it or not, firing on retreating enemy units can be quite helpful because often, just by firing at them, you will destroy them. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously, they can't take that much damage. So consider that. It's definitely something you might want to do in the game. Let's get into Gamberg again. I'll actually go this way so we can avoid Camberg, the burning city. Alright, my friends, I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video so far. Obviously, if you guys like the game, let us know in the comments. I'd really